All right, BCTV viewers, we have a wonderful guest, Theodore Judson, and he's going to talk about whatever he wants. So let's just start in. Theodore, what do you have to tell us today?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me on, Matt. Today
Sure.
we're going to be talking about the Japanese knotweed. The Japanese knotweed is a noxious plant found all throughout Pennsylvania. To get a little background on this plant and why you should know more about it, the Japanese knotweed was introduced to Pennsylvania in the United States about 20 years ago. It was originally from Japan and was used as a decorative or ornamental plant. However, due to outside exposure, people planting them in their gardens, this plant quickly got out of hand and is now found in 42 out of the 50 states. A couple things you might want to know about this plant: the leaves are shaped pretty regularly, but it has a distinct dark stem as such. The plants are dangerous and invasive because they can grow 10 meters tall. It's about 13 feet, and their root system goes all the way down up to 15 feet. This creates a problem for all of the different ecosystems that we have throughout Pennsylvania. You think of all of the flowers, all of the plants, all of the trees. All of these plants require sunlight, require water, and if you have a weed that grows quickly and high and buries its roots deep, you can have a big problem on your hand.
Howsoever, there is some beneficial effects of Japanese knotweed. Are there? Do they have some uh, any medicinal properties that could be good?
Yeah, it is used in Japan for a couple different medicines on a more local or ritualistic level. In the United States, we're still looking into that. One thing that we can say is that it is a producer of oxygen, and that's always good. But overall, so far, we're seeing that there is potential for Japanese knotweed, but that there's so much of the plant that it's really a problem for the rest of the species.
Oh, very good. And where would be the best place to try and find one if you're looking for one?
Yeah, sure, Matt. The best place to find Japanese knotweed would be on a roadway, a river, or some other area where there's an incline and access to water.
Wow. Now you live in the Kempton, Northern Berks area, and tell us a little bit about some environmental stuff or ideas that you have, if anything, if you can think of anything.
Yeah, sure. So with the Japanese knotweed and dealing with it in an environmental way, it's really hard to get rid of the root systems given how deep they bury. And so a natural or first come to mind answer would be herbicides. Now I understand that that's not the most environmental, and you usually think of the chemicals that go into it. And so there's been ways in which people, both local and statewide, have come up with chemicals that are natural and have used other plants and other insect fluids. There's an insect in Japan that actually eats this.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one way to handle it in a more environmentally friendly way, so that you're not burying 10 feet of roots.
Okay, and you, Theodore Judson, are pretty active environmentally, are you in any organizations or whatever?
Yeah, I like to be involved. I try to understand, especially on the local level. I'm really interested in ways in which Pennsylvania, Berks County, and all of us can move forward. And I think one of the avenues that we have to look at is the environment. You look at Hawk Mountain, right about 5 minutes from where I'm from, and in Berks County. There's so much history about the environmental practices that Hawk Mountain started, the first in the nation, and now is used widespread. So I think if we as Pennsylvanians want to be leaders and we want to show that we care about each other, we also have to show that we're mindful about the environment. And learning about plants like the Japanese knotweed is just one of the ways in which we can do that.
Very nice. So let's see, any other goodies that you think our viewers, it's 1 million viewers, and other viewers might be interested in? Anything you can think of? It's hard to just on the spur of the moment, but If not,
Yeah, no, one thing I would mention is that the Japanese knotweed is classified by the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources as a noxious weed. And so if you go onto their website, you can see loads of resources on natural, less natural, different ways in which we can handle this weed and together learn about it so that our gardens, backyards, and forests can be greener and more plentiful.
and how tall does it grow?
There's pictures, and hopefully we'll get to add one in, of 10 feet high.
10 feet high.
Yeah,
Oh, boy,
overshadowing everything, right?
Wow. We'll show that picture if you can come up with it. What do you think, Brian? Anything else?
Well, does it crowd out beneficial plants, native plants?
Yes, that's actually one of the biggest concerns when we're talking about this plant, is that it has an ability to soak up all of the resources and create a situation in which local native plants don't have the same advantages and access to water and sunlight.
Wonderful. Oh, well, should we quit while we're ahead, Brian? What do you think?
I think so.
All right. Well, let's say goodbye to our viewers.
Yeah, thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Sure.